I'm Ben Meyer.
And I'm Rob Wright.
And this week we wanted to talk about a news story that came up this past week. Konami, it was found, had been imposing some limitations on a few of the reviewers who had been doing who got advanced copies of their upcoming mega title Metal Gear Solid 4. And one of those publications, Electronic Gaming Monthly, EGM, decided we don't want to play ball. We're not going to do a review. We're just going to have a roundtable discussion instead. And this was their quote from that issue. We weren't happy with the limitations Konami wanted to impose on our comments. Rather than publish compromised reviews in the interest of being first to rate the game, we'd rather wait until next issue where we can be completely open and thorough with our thoughts. Rob, you're clapping.
Yes.
Obviously, this is a good day for reviewers. Why?
Well, I think that EGM made the right decision, and I salute them. I mean, I applaud them. I don't know what else you could do in this situation. You're basically subjecting yourself to a publisher's whims. You're basically saying, okay, I'm going to let you decide how we review a game. I mean, that's crazy, right? I mean, am I insane in thinking that it's not the place of the publisher to tell the media outlet how to review a game? And this is the thing that kills me. I mean, they didn't want them to talk about the mega long cutscene and the long install time for the game, and I think that, I mean, it's been written about. So I mean, it's these two like little inane kind of points about the game that I'm not even really sure they would turn anybody off from it. And basically, they're telling EGM and other sites and magazines, you can't write about this, and you know, you're under embargo. I mean, it's ridiculous. So EGM, kudos to them. They just said, no, we're not going to review it.
Yeah,
we're going to wait until after the embargo lifts, until the game's on the shelf, and then we'll give it a score. Good for them.
Good for them. And they've had a history of doing this with some, you know,
yes,
willing to stand up to publishers.
Yes, they have. I mean, they I don't know how many people remember, but last fall, late last year, basically what happened was a couple publishers, including Ubisoft and part of Midway, said, we're blackballing you because we don't like the way you're reviewing our games. We don't like the way you're covering our games. So you're not getting any more advanced product, and you're cut off, you're blackballed. And EGM, God bless them, turned around and wrote about it. The former editor-in-chief wrote about it in an editorial and said, hey, readers, this is why we're not going to get any more advanced copy from these publishers, because they don't like the way we're doing business. Sorry, but we're not changing the way that we do things. And God bless them. I mean, and they did it again here with EGM, and I kudos to them for going public and calling a spade here. So
yeah, well, great. So EGM did a good thing. I think we'd agree. But there were a number of publishers that took the advanced copies, agreed to the embargo, and wrote reviews, even mentioning the embargo in the review.
Yeah,
but
IGN. They gave
9.9.
Yeah, they gave the game a 9.9, and they mentioned in the review that they were not allowed to talk about install and cutscene length. And right then and there, like, if you know you're being restricted by it and you're reading the review, then as a reader, you're reading the IGN review, you must know that it's bad. I don't know what an embargo like this accomplishes, but in any event, you know, reading that, it's like you're confessing that you're submitting to the will of that publisher. And let's say that you could review the game without having any sort of like bias. Let's say you were never going to write about the cutscene length and harp on the load times anyways. Like, at the very least, like, even if you think you wrote an unbiased review, it's got the appearance of impropriety. It has a stench of bias on it. And it doesn't look good. It
doesn't look good, but it's just bizarre to me because, like you said, a 90-minute cutscene, I think a lot of people might even want to see a 90-minute. I know there's some Kurosawa fans out there. You want to see a long movie in between your game. You know, this is a very graphic-intensive game.
Yes.
People are going to expect longer load times for this. So it's just bizarre that Konami would put the clamps down for this thing. I mean, if it was bugs or something, you'd want to keep that under wraps. But this is just kind of a weird thing to put.
It seems ironic too, because a lot of the stuff was already in the media. Like, a lot of the stuff had been already written about. Eurogamer wrote their early review, and it was in there. I mean, they just said we're going to write about it anyways. So, I mean, it's been in the news. People have known about that kind of long cutscene at the end of the game. So I'm not really sure why they did it. And then kind of the worst part, well, at least the part that makes it even more disappointing for me, is that Konami's apparently playing favorites now. I mean, they basically told EGM and other magazines and websites, you have to abide by these embargoes and limitations. They turned around and said to other places, like the official PlayStation magazine, no restrictions. You have free reign. You can write about whatever you want.
Yeah, well, but I mean, they probably. I mean, what was the score that you got?
What do you think the score was?
Okay, so they gave it 10, but that's because official PlayStation Magazine, you know they're going to play ball. You don't need to give them a restriction because they're you know.
But whatever. I mean, this is just another example of like hubris. Like they think that they can control. You know, they can dictate these things to the gaming press and kind of decide who gets what and who has to follow which rules. And I mean. And it's crazy. Like you asked, why did they think that they could get away with this? I mean, it's because they did it because they did think that places would play ball.
I mean, I don't. It makes so little sense to me that it almost seems like they just did it on purpose so that people like us will talk about it. And because it really, like I said, I can't imagine that it would affect the sales of a game. Either that, or like you said, it's just something they could assume they could do because that's common practice.
I mean, that's the rub right there. It's kind of disturbing. I mean, the implication is that with a publisher, a game company that's respected as Konami, they've been around forever. I mean, they've made great games. If they think that they can do this and get away with it and strong arm the games press into writing what they want.
Right.
How many other publishers are doing this? How many other gaming sites and gaming magazines are letting them do it? I mean, that's the thing that really kills me about this. The implication isn't good. Whatever you want to, you know, if you want a glass half full or glass half empty scenario, the implication is horrendous. It's bad. You know?
Well, what it says to me on a macro level, forgetting the impropriety aspect, it shows what a huge investment a company like Konami has, despite the reputation, on this game, what PlayStation has riding on Metal Gear Solid 4, and the risk that they're willing to take to make sure that there is no risk when that thing comes out that it's going to be a blockbuster because there's so much money involved. And they just can't afford to have bad reviews and ruin buzz.
I guess. I mean, but this is the reason that people don't trust the game reviews and the game press. The evidence is right there. I mean, you don't have to look at it. It's the reason why we didn't want to do game reviews for the longest time.
Exactly.
You know, and we finally did. We haven't been subjected to any pressure like this, but then again, we're not trying to get our reviews out and like, exclusive reviews, first look. I mean, that's not what we do. We don't
they don't send us to us. If you send us an advanced copy, we might do an early review. But
but we wouldn't abide to those rules. So
no, we wouldn't. Yeah. But that's all the time we have for this week. I'm Ben Meyer.
And I'm Rob Wright.
And we'll see you again next time.